Hey guys, happy Saturday. We made it through the week, didn't we? Just have a few minutes here before I have to get busy again, waiting for RLJ Frog Pond's video to come out. He always does one on the weekend, so I'm hoping that we'll be treated with another one. This is a pretty defined profile here on this one, as you can see, and if you look closely, you'll be able to see different eyes. It's a little heavy. But that's a pretty nice one. It's probably a wren. The color of that kind of resembles a wren, or maybe I'm saying that bird name wrong. But this stone also has an emblem on it on the back here. You can see that emblem. More likely a parrot head on the top right. I think this is a piece of granite. It's very heavy. Very, very heavy indeed. Big old duck head. Just right there with the left side beak. Once we learn the style of art, you guys will be able to see all these as well. It does take a while though. Got a few of them out today. Got some turtleback scrapers out as well. All these are found at the same place. So I didn't realize I was plundering a mound until I found the mound. But these were all found right next to a mound. Got a couple triangle head archetypes out this morning. So this is kind of how this art can be tricky. See how this really doesn't resemble the archetype yet, but when you tilt it, it does, I think. That little crack for the lip and the big eye and the tab to the right hand side. As we know, it doesn't look exactly like one thing because it's several things. It's the style of their art. I didn't notice this one before, but this painted section would be a face, and the top of it perhaps a headdress. Oh no, just a smaller face on the bottom there. It's still painted on. Wow. Hadn't noticed that one before. That's why I like doing these with you guys, because I find more stuff looking through the camera. For some reason, this kind of reminds me of Country Boy Archaeology's bird. It's facing like this. Something about it just, oh wow. Yeah, and the surface image of a bird as well. Just right here, the wing and the beak right there. Very neat. Oh, this is the one that I was thinking that, you know, when you look at it, kind of doesn't look like triangle head archetype, but then when you see how he's got that big jut sticking out. But then when you get him right, you can see that he is indeed that same archetype. So this time he's got a big carved out eye there. You always see the little crack for those lips and the top right hand tab poking out. Really like these triangle head archetypes. Some of the examples that I have are really nice. Yeah, try not to bang them around too much either. They're pretty old and they do have paint on them and things. You guys have seen these ones before, little duck heads. Some of them I can see very defined, and it's kind of like snow blindness. You end up not really sure what everyone else can see. So, of course, we're seeing the little pokey lips here, little pursed lips. Could have been an axe head at one time. If you just look at the profile and then kind of expand on that, you can see cheekbone and everything else. There's going to be a few different ones on here. possibly animals as well. It's a pretty neat one. Got a lot of these ones that resembled axes. I've seen this one before a few times. But I've got a couple other ones out here. Let's take a look at some beard mohawk eye real quick. So beard mohawk eye, sometimes these totems. More than likely this was a tool. You can see how it's shaped like a digging implement or something, but he's the long-faced totem fella. You can see his carving for his eye. When I first started this, there was a person who commented and said, "Oh yeah, we know about that beard mohawk eye." It meant so much to me to know that other people knew about this as well. So whoever that was way back then, probably 6 months ago now, I'm still using their term, beard mohawk eye. Although these end up with headdresses as well. This is a headdress version of beard mohawk guy. Oh, that works out a lot better, doesn't it, with the shadows? I like that. So you can see the line that denotes the top of the hat, how it's kind of like a triangle there. The face is maybe all tucked in version. Oh yeah, that shadow's working out perfect. So it's just like a little reversible totem. Very nice, very nice. This is a big goose head. This yellow portion is his beak. It's a little upside down there, but that's him. Big old goose head, and then of course the big profile image there. You can see how his eye is carved in, his nose, and then he's got, let's see, like 6 or 7 different mouths there. And the reason for those mouths are because there's different eyes. So there's a poked out eye, and then there's a recessed eye. There's probably other eyes as well. Notice how the rest of this would be smooth, and you can see all the little ridges up here. Oh, it's a real heavy one, but I'll try to show them to you just a little bit so you can see all those mouths indicating the many faces that are on him. So as you tilt it, those like the definition for the eye, the one right there, really comes out with his brow on top. Pretty neat. And as you tilt him, different eyes will appear. It's a pretty nice one. Now the back of this stone has a lot of that ochre paint on it. You can see those ripples for the mouths a little better there. It almost looks like a small little saw blade. In this paint, whenever you see this paint, more than likely you're dealing with an artifact. I found some other people that had this paint on some large stones that they had found. They weren't sure if they were artifacts, so. Of course, we got the bow out. We got a couple things out today. In the shadows there, will help to see this sandstone eye that's on here. It's a very large eye. It's diamond shaped. It's just right in that section. You can see the lines on the bottom left coming out. You got little Buttercup with me. We're just doing the Saturday morning thing. A lot of these you guys have seen before, but I have a few out. Finding more and more magnetic effigies. So this one's magnetic. This one's very magnetic. Pretty neat. Now I gotta test everything. Hey, this is magnetic too. What? You're joking me. What? I didn't know that. Very neat. So I believe this is a herd of elephants or some kind of pachyderm. You got the 2 noses down there. There's elephants that are represented. I'll show you this one. You might be able to see his eye a little better in this shadow here. See his eye right there? It's a human-looking eye. These are mammals, of course. Pretty neat. Wow. How much more is magnetic? I'm going to try checking out as many as I can now to find out how many are magnetic. I got so many that I never even knew. This is a painted bird head. These are some painted stones. Some of these I feel are very old. So Jim Gaskins, who wrote that book there that I just picked up, says that sometimes the effigies were made of the Spanish conquistadors, and that may be what this guy is. He might be with his like mohawk there. I'm not sure though. I think it's just the proverbial mohawk beard man again, so they're reversible. You know, he has a mohawk one day, has a beard the other. You can see how his eyes carved in there for beard man, and then when you lift him up, there's a very defined eye, a very large one, from this line down with the pupil right there in the center. Sometimes getting closer doesn't help. Sometimes different distances are going to help, but you can see how he's got a little wedge down there below. Maybe those are feathers that are hanging down, part of the headdress. And on the back, a recessed beak bird. Take a look at the crystal fish here. This is the crystal fish, but we never really looked at the back of him too much. Got a couple of these fish. They always have this tab where you can wiggle them like a fish. A little tab back there. That seems to be a characteristic. So the back of this is pretty wild. Lots of different things going on, pretty complex, and that's probably what they wanted. They wanted it to be a smart art. A lot of these are like puzzles. You see the little white spot for the pupil, the profile image there facing to the left. Pretty neat one. Looks perhaps like big nose, big chin variant with a left side profile. You can see how the yellow spot right there for his eye. Now they use the natural inclusions of the stone. And then this way would be kind of like the long-haired version. It replicates this one quite a bit, this piece of peach quartz. This may be a more defined fish for you guys. This is another fish, same side profile, of course. It's a clear piece of quartz. You can see how this and also has the fishy tab. And then when you put her like this, you see how this line will denote like the top of the hair. This is all hair coming up. You see how it's all bunched up there. When you tilt her to the extreme edges, more of those facial features will come out. And of course the parrot and the cardinal on the back of the parrot. So this may be the back of the wing. If you're just looking at the parrot itself, the round head, of course, with the beak on this side. And then there's a cardinal imprinted on the back of this parrot, just on the raised section. You can see how the tail feathers come back, how they're all smooth. You see how the rest of this is all red and marked up, and there you go with a nice smooth area for that tail. help to see the tail. He's got a left side profile, and of course that's his beak there. Lots of cool stuff for sure. This was one of the first ones when I was able to see the art very well. I was able to draw out these. These are the two images that are on this portrait here. You can see a couple different eyes. This is a piece of pottery, I believe. It's not actually a piece of stone, which I have a lot of those. So you see how there's these spots as you tilt it. Different images and things are going to be represented there. I was a lot better at seeing the art when I was really into this. And since I have taken a break from it and kind of had to step back a little bit, it's not as strong as it used to be, which is kind of a scary thing for me. But also being able to see as much as I was able to before was also kind of scary. So I'm hoping that I can get that back at some point, but I know enough and I can still see enough now to still continue this research. But the way you get good at seeing the art is really just by looking for it. Just complete immersion, keeping these around in your house, on your table, so that you pass them by whenever you walk by them. It's a good chance this stuff is very old. I really like the crystal effigies. Got some very small crystal effigies. Kind of want to take a look at that one with you and show you. I've gotten some comments, not on the YouTube channel, but from some friends that I've met taking this to them. Apparently there is a tribe here in North Carolina where this style of bird is kind of like their mascot. So I'm interested to find out who they were, and they say it's one of the better representations. I'm still trying to make that connection. So looking at these, trying to find out, how is it a bird? How is it a bird? Ba-bang, finding the bird. Exercising your mind like that over and over again. Finding a piece of pretty crystal. How is it a bird? How is it a bird? And cha-ching, finding the bird. That is the exercise that we need if we want to learn how to see this style of art. It was part of their lifestyle. It was something they were experts at. They didn't have anything else but the nature, stones. Stones were, this probably, before metal, before the Copper Age. Stones were everything. Different types of stones did different things for them. They knew about rocks a lot, probably more than what our geologists know currently. Because it was their life, it was their survival. They had to know about it in order to survive. These effigies sometimes get extremely small. As you can see, the tiny little portrait with the hair. You see those little lips coming out with the chin. Just a small, tiny crystal statue. So a few more things on this, but it's not the easiest to film. But you can see it there. I'm looking for the left side profile here, of course. There you go. You can see how those lips come out. The nose and then the eye. You guys see that small? pretty tiny. Got a hat on. Probably a few more on this, but we'll just stick with that one there. Some things by chance, right? But other things are by design. When you find all these in one spot, in one place, you know something's going on. So check out the featured channels list, guys. We got a lot of other people showing this kind of art as well. We're all learning from each other since the archaeologists aren't really helping us yet. But I'm pretty sure that at some point they're going to have to acknowledge this. And if not, we'll just have to beat them in their own game. Maybe take some type of legal action if we have to for denying the public this knowledge. In 2022, it's time to kill the narrative that the people here who lived in this great country that we call home, it's time to stop that narrative that they weren't as smart as us, that they didn't care about their family members or their people, their culture. It's time to kill that narrative. So, with that, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.